It's the favorite flower of the French, and yet in their bouquets, only 1 in 4 roses is actually grown in France. Most of them come from Africa and Latin America. So the French rose now banks on the luxury market. In early summer on the French Riviera, the roses of the Meilland family are blooming. They're among the world's most renowned producers. But here, they don't just grow roses, they create them. Mathias Meilland is the heir of a dynasty that has always dreamt up new varieties. Everything starts with pollen in its little boxes.
This is a small variety called the petit. It's red and very small and compact. And this is another variety with a large white flower. I'm aiming to create a new, very compact variety with large flowers. Here you're witnessing the fertilizing of a rose, which will give birth to lots of baby roses. My grandmother taught me how to do this when I was just 10 years old. You hybrid the rose with your finger using lots of pollen.
An ancestral method already performed by his great-grandfather in 1850 when he was a gardener in Lyon. In the Meilland family, the love of roses is handed down from generation to generation. The family moved to the French Riviera in the 1950s. It was Marie-Louise Meilland, Mathias's grandmother, who ran the company and continued to create thousands of new varieties.
These are the parents. You had the father and the mother of the variety Sonia, which has all the qualities we want in a rose.
It was the rose piece that brought international renown to the House of Meilland. And success continued with the creation of original roses associated with personalities, like Romy Schneider, Grace Kelly, and Paul McCartney, among many other stars.
I really like the leaves on this one.
And their creativity never dies. Every year, the firm spends more than €1 million on research and development. This morning, the team is selecting new varieties.
Color is very important, and it has to be a real color. This, for example, is a typical American red, whereas this is a typical European red. We also work on the size of the rosebud. The bigger the bud, the higher the quality. And if we get a scent as well, then we're big winners.
Also on the Riviera, Grasse is the world capital of perfume. And the rose naturally has a very important place. For years, François Demachy was perfumer for the House of Dior. He has created dozens of world-famous perfumes, and all of them have started with the rose and its 450 scent molecules.
It's the foundation stone. You start with the rose and build on top of it. And then you find other notes to go with it, like sandalwood, patchouli, vanilla, or more Eastern notes.
For his perfumes, François Demachy uses an extreme rose concentrate known as the Absolute. This small flask contains the extract from 10 kilos of rose petals. To obtain it, everything happens here. The flowers, picked in May, are placed in extraction vats and soaked in a solvent. The petals are then removed from the vats. After 24 hours of distillation, a layer of aromas appears and turns into wax. This is known as concrete.
To obtain the absolute, we mix the concrete, seen here in its pure state, with alcohol. Then begins a process of filtration and concentration. The aim is for the absolute to be totally soluble in the alcohol, so that it remains in liquid form in your perfume.
600 kilometers to the north, in the medieval town of Provins, they also grow roses. The Gallica, a variety dating back to the Middle Ages, which can be found in all forms, even on your plate. Carla Renault's shop sells it in mustard, as a liqueur, as vinegar, and in sweets. But her specialty is rose petal jelly.
This is my treasure. It goes with foie gras and with brie cheese. With brie, it's simply outstanding.
To make her jelly, Carla starts by picking and sorting 300 kilos of petals before freezing them.
How long have you been smelling roses?
27 years.
27 years.
Right, and smelling of roses.
A recipe passed on from mother to son. The petals are mixed with honey, which they also harvest themselves. They have to find the perfect balance, so the jelly's not too sweet.
The perfect balance, so it's pleasing to the tongue.
Have you found the perfect balance?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
No.
It's our little secret.
The petals and honey are heated the old-fashioned way with lemon juice, water, and sugar. Carla Renaud never tires of working with roses.
I think it's a smell you always love. It's really universal.
Adored by the French, who prefer it to the orchid and the lily, the rose is the top-selling flower in France, with more than 22 million bunches sold every year.